baby. Yup, you see it. Positive energy. You got it. I got my Brody cup holder. We're in the new studio, the Thruline podcast. So stoked to be in here. First episode in here. Super stoked about my guest. And this is new. This is what we're going to have. We're going to have video each week. So if you are a subscriber, which I imagine and hope you are, and if you're new coming over from, because you love Bobby Kelly, because that's who's going to be my guest today, I love you. Thanks for coming over. And if you're just watching on YouTube, do me a favor. Still go over to the Thruline podcast, Thruline, on iTunes and subscribe, because everything helps. Give it a rate. Give it a review. Give it a rate. Does anyone say? No one says that. Go over, rate it, review it, subscribe, share it with your friends when you're at your mom's house. Not the podcast, Tommy and CP. Relatives, get them on it. Get people involved if you're liking it, because we have some great guests coming and some great guests that we've already had on. I'm going to start doing some Facebook Lives in here, so like we can start communicating more on a personal level and talking about, stuff that if there's stuff that you want to talk about, we can do it at Facebook Lives. You can ask questions. You want to reach out and know about what's on the wall. You want to know about, opinions on cooking, building, anything that you like, that you think I dig, or it's something you like, you think I should dig. I want to be inspired. I say that all the time to my wife. I'm like, we need to be around things that inspire us all the time. Like, everybody wants to get inspired. You think you might not. You're like, nah, or you don't think of it at all, But we all want to be inspired by people, by music, by art, by our political leaders, by our kids' teachers, our own teachers. Anyway, you get it. So I'm always looking for inspiration. If there's things that you think I would dig, TV shows, whatever, email me, holidaybakeryproductions@gmail. Holiday Bakery, right there. That's my grandfather's bakery. Or wait for the Facebook Lives. I'll announce them. I'm going to do them right in here, and I'll give you guys ample warning of when they're going to be, and hopefully you can all tune in. Otherwise, it'll live. We have a new Facebook page. Facebook fan page is J. Larson Comedy. If you are already on the old one, go over to that one, because there was something that they wouldn't let me put videos up. So now we're getting more videos. Obviously, this is going to be more videos. This will all be on YouTube as well. So if you're not subscribing to my YouTube channel, J. Larson Comedy, get over there. I'll have links up. You can do that at J. Larson Comedy on Facebook, jlarsоncomedy.com. And we're going to be chopping up my special and putting clips out there on Facebook. So if you bought the special, I love you. You can watch it whenever you want, and you can watch the whole thing. If you haven't, maybe you'll see one of these clips and be like, I should get that special. I should support him for $6. $6, dude. What? You don't have $6? What is that? That's 5 cents. That's not 5 cents a month. 50 cents a month for 1 year, and you can have the special forever? I don't know. Seems like a good deal to me. Anyway, we're going to be doing that. If you're a Crab Feast fan, which I know a lot of you are, the Crab Feast now has its own livable place. The Crab Feast feed turned into the Honeydew with the sickle. So now that's just the Honeydew, and the rest of you can go resubscribe to the Crab Feast and get all those past great episodes, and then have the Thruline, the Crab Feast, and the Honeydew. So I hope you out there do that. And if you haven't ever heard the Crab Feast, please go subscribe and hear so many great. We did 7 years of like 350 episodes. The other night at the Comedy Store, this girl came up and she's like, hey, I'm a Crab Feast fan. I'm like, oh, that's amazing. When did you start listening? She's like 4 months ago. And I was like, really? And she's like, yeah. And so she got onto it. And that's the great thing about podcasts is they live there. You know what I mean? There are people like that are going back now watching Friday Night Lights because it's, things live places now. So we can do that. I feel like I've been talking for a minute. It's June 4th, man. It's June. I'm so excited. I hope you guys had a great Memorial Day. I had an amazing Memorial Day. I had an amazing day. We got up. My wife got up with the kids. I got to sleep in a little bit. And then we played with the kids. We made a great breakfast. No, we didn't. We went out to breakfast. and we had a great breakfast. They took a little longer than normal. And then we went for this amazing hike. We went for a hike up in Solstice Canyon where you hike up to this waterfall. And, God, just something great about like being outdoors on a day that everyone is set aside to remember. And Memorial Day is a tough day for me. Both my grandfathers fought in the war. Military was not something I used to think as a kid I was going to go to like West Point or something. It just never was. But now I look at it and I'm like, I've done military tours, as a stand-up in Iraq, in Kuwait, in other countries. And it's just like a weird thing for me. I'm like, why are we here? Like World War II always felt like, yeah, we had to be there. Guys were drafted. And now people sign up to be in the military because that's one, it can be a good job. You have security and risk, a ton of risk. And then, just as I'm older and I look at it, I'm like, yeah, why are we in these certain countries? So it's tough for me. But one thing I always respect is our military and the bravery. And from being in war zones with them, their humility. They're like the most appreciative and there's no ego. Anyway, I appreciate everyone in the military across all branches, past, present, future. And it was really cool to be out on a day where I could go for a hike in nature, knowing that I'm not worried about a bomb being dropped on me at this moment because we have people out there protecting us, regardless if we're dropping bombs that day on another country, which is why I'm conflicted about it, but not so much that I would ever not appreciate the men and women that are serving. So I had a great day. Memorial Day is definitely, I love when you see an American flag out on Memorial Day that wasn't there the day before. And you're like, oh yeah, look at that. That flag. I've always loved the American flag. And anyway, I had a great Monday and I hope you guys are having a great week. I think of it more than anything. This is what I sum it down to. When you have those Monday holidays, it gives you a chance to like reboot and appreciate the fact, not just to be thankful for our military and that we live in a country where we can have free speech and I can do this, but at the same time, just as a human being that like, I can reboot today and I can take a moment that I don't have to work. And it's like, most days you don't allow yourself to say, hey, I'm going to think about my life and think about what changes I could make, because there's no time. You don't think about it. But when it's a day that's supposed to be work and kids are supposed to be at school, that's when you can take time and be like, you know what? Man, I'm really lucky that I get to like cook with my kids. I should cook with my kids more. Or, you know what? I'm really lucky that I can just walk down the street to a coffee shop and read the newspaper. I should make time for that more. So going on that hike made my wife and I realize we should go for more hikes. And being able to be in the studio now, I'm like, I got to do more stuff for the people that are listening to the Thruline and that like my stand-up comedy and appreciate the perspective I have on the world. And that's something I'm going to do with this new studio moving forward. And which is why I want you to share more with me so I can get inspired to be like, oh yeah, that's might be something I didn't even know I was interested in. Have I talked too much? Well, luckily for you, I have a guest this week who I love to death. There was nobody I wanted to have in the studio more than this comedian, because he does his podcast on his Patreon page in his shed in his backyard. You may know his podcast. You know what, dude? YKWD, and he was on Sex, Drugs, and Rock and Roll on FX, and he was on Louie on FX, and he's a super funny comedian. If you're not following Bobby Kelly, please go check him out on Instagram, on Facebook, buy his albums, support his podcast. He's just an awesome dude, and I love him. So please enjoy this week's episode, an inaugural episode in the new studio with video with Bobby Kelly. This is excitement for me. This is the first one we've ever done in the new studio.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
This is great, man. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love that. Dude, I love technology is so advanced that all you need is a nerd and some space.
That's it, man.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I hate I hate cell phones. I hate when my phone, it can't work or it's supposed to. You know, I'll get him like, oh, what are we doing? It won't work. Like Louis did that great bit where he's like, people complain on the plane. He's like, you're at 30,000. You know what I mean? And I still can't get past it. Yeah. So when someone else can do it, this is when I love it. Is I'm like, oh, I can just take a space that nobody would use and turn it into this.
It's pretty crazy. I love learning. I like learning the nerd stuff.
Yeah.
I spend hours on YouTube learning about cameras and setting. I love knowing what the next thing is, but it kills me because I've taken my addiction for drugs and sex and all kinds of terrible things and put it into technology and food, which is terrible.
Yeah.
I wish I could put it into something.
Wait, what drugs you did drugs early, right?
I did drugs way early, when I was like 10, 11, 12, 13, 14,
Holy
15.
Shit.
I was from Boston, you know that.
Yeah, but
what part of Boston were you from?
I'm not from Boston. I'm from Stoneham.
Stoneham? Yeah, but I'm from Medford.
Yeah, Medford though. But put it this way, Stoneham and Medford are a town apart. But like, and my town, people in Winchester would be like, Stoneham, get the fuck out of here. And people in Stoneham like, Medford, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, we were definitely the worst. Winchester was uppity. Real rich people. Stoneham, but you had the zoo.
Yeah, we
you
still
had the
do,
reservoir.
We still got it.
Yeah.
I took my son hiking there. I took him home for the first dad-son trip.
Really?
And we went hiking all around there. And like my buddy came with his boys, my buddy Anthony, and we had like walkie-talkies. And we were like looking through caves, and it was raining. And it was like the greatest thing ever.
There's caves in Stoneham?
Caves, bro.
Where?
I mean, you know. Like,
you sure there were caves?
Yeah,
was it a sewer?
Yeah, we got all that land around the reservoir.
Oh, yeah. Where the hospital is.
Yeah, that dumpy hospital.
I remember.
But Medford, my mother said to me one time, she goes, you know, when your father and I split, we didn't have any money, and I could have picked us up and moved us to Medford, and we could have afforded it. But I said, nope, I want the kids to have a good upbringing, and we stayed in Stoneham.
You should thank her. You should thank her all the time.
She's like, you could have been Bobby Kelly.
Yeah, you could have. I'm telling you, it is a big difference between Stoneham and Medford. The kids were different. But then you go to Somerville, and it's worse than us.
Oh yeah,
Somerville was just. They just weren't right. They were mentally ill.
There was
Somerville, like Medford was weird. It was segregated. It was like the Italians lived in South Medford, the Irish lived in North Medford. West Medford was where the blacks were, but they were in a certain section called what was it? There was a park.
How big is Medford? You really had these sections?
We had these sections, and Duggar Park was where the black. All that there was a. You were actually. Parks. You had certain parks.
Yeah,
like when they had gangs back in the day, Medford had parks. So Car Park was the Irish kids, all from North Medford. And they were tough kids, but all the Irish kids hung out at Car Park. Tufts Park was in South Medford, all Italians or Italian-Irish, but mostly Italian kids.
Yeah. You're Italian.
I'm Italian-Irish.
Yeah, me too.
And and then Duggar Park was all black. It was they had basketball hoops down there.
And everyone go to the same high school?
No. No. They all went to Medford High, yes.
Yeah.
I got kicked out. They wouldn't let me go to Medford High. I had to go to Malden High. I couldn't
fucking
go.
Malden?
Malden was another.
No better.
Malden was a weird town. It was like nobody gave a fuck about Malden. Yeah. But Medford was a badass. I remember hanging out at the park. You know, Mikey Catalano, the Gagliardis.
Dude, my sister dated Frank Gagliardi in high school, but from Stoneham.
Okay.
Frankie Gagliardi, greatest guy ever. When I was like in 8th grade, he was dating my sister, and he was like a senior, and he would be like, I could call him like, what are you doing? He's like, nothing. He'd be like, why, you want to go get Chinese food? I'm like, yeah. And he'd be like, come get me. He was like this like crazy older brother uncle guy that we never had.
Yeah, I loved it hanging out. Medford was great. It was definitely a troubled town, but when I was drinking, it was a fucking blast.
Wait, so did you have a house or an apartment or like a 3-family?
My grandmother and grandfather had a house. They had a 3-bedroom house, but 13 of us lived there.
Holy!
Because they had 8 kids, And then my mother got pregnant early, which back then she had my sister when she was 15, me when she was 18.
Damn.
That was pretty crazy.
Same dad?
Same dad for both of us,
Yeah.
yeah. But then some other dude stepped in, and and then she divorced him, and then we got Larry, who just passed last year, who was awesome, great guy. Yeah, he's from Everett. Which where my wife is from, which I swore I would never date a chick. We used to fight Everett. Like we used to go and fight those guys.
You were those guys. My friends wanted to be those dudes. Like we drive around, like, let's go see if we can get in a fight in Reading. And I'd be like, all right. So we drive around. I'm like, why? What are we doing? But you would.
Reading. No,
those are our rivals, dude.
No, Reading was
Stoneham and Reading, baby.
That's funny, dude. I remember rivals. We used to fight Burlington. We used to fight Everett and Somerville. Those kids were tough motherfuckers.
They had like
man.
knives and shit, or
dude, they were project rats. Like their projects were big.
Yeah.
So they were just a mixed breed. You didn't know what the fuck they were. The Irish, black, Spanish, just all fucking each other in the projects. So I mean, I got beat up so many times in the projects.
At what age? What was like the first age you got beat?
The first time I got my ass whooped. I mean, fucking whooped. I think I was 13, and me and Frankie Policastro. Frankie Policastro was.
Why does even Frankie Policastro need to be a Frankie? He's got the Calipastro, whatever it is.
Frankie Policastro, yeah. He was my Fonzie.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was the kid, James Dean looking, squinty eyes, blonde hair, leather jacket. Good guy, like anti-hero type of guy.
Yeah, totally.
Just a piece of shit, but a good guy to me.
Mm-hmm.
And we started hanging out, I believe in 7th grade or something like that. And we went. He's like, dude, he always wanted to do shit. He just loved fucking just getting into these dangerous situations, and he would giggle.
Like he liked to fight and shit.
He would just start going. He had these little squinty eyes, and he'd go, and he tried not to. He'd like keep his mouth shut. And he wanted to get arrested, stealing, fight.
I knew a kid like that, Eric Aria, and I remember at one time. I never been in a fight. I've been in brawls,
right.
But I've never thrown a punch. I've been in 4 brawls, and we were in a brawl outside of Who's on First in down by Fenway.
Yeah.
And this kid goes up to the bouncer. He started the fight. He goes up to the bouncer and he's mouthing off, and then the bouncer pushed him. He pushed him back, and the bouncer clocks him across the face, and he just started laughing in the bouncer's face. And the bouncer was like, "Oh shit,
trouble,
this dude."
Well, this Frankie, he took 12 at night. He goes, "Let's go to the Somerville Projects and get some weed." And I'm just there. I'm like, okay.
13.
And then as we're walking in there, it's like, Night of the Living Dead. You hear little things running behind you. And and out of nowhere, this guy walks up. "What's up, guys? What do you need?" That Boston. "Dude, what do you need, guys?" We're looking for weed. He goes, "Come with me. I got you." And he was way too friendly for the projects at 12. He's just, "Come on. I got you, guys."
Did you guys usually go there for weed?
No. We went to the Medford Projects, right? And so we walk in, they take us in one of those little fucking hallways with the metal stairs in the back of the projects.
Yeah.
Comes down, gives us the weed. And he's like, "Where you guys going to go smoke this?" He goes, Frankie blew him off. "We're just going to go. We're going to get out of here." And okay, guys. Yeah, good for you.
Did Frankie drive?
No, we walked. Nobody had a car back then, right? And so we went. There's a pyramid at the top of the projects where there was a playground for the kids.
Yeah.
So we told the kid we were leaving. And we walked up that pyramid and we sat down, and he's like, "Let's roll right here." I go, "Maybe we should just get the fuck out of here." Fuck it, we're gonna roll. We're gonna smoke one right here. And Frank, he always did that shit, and I'm like, "Let's just go." He wanted just to fucking live. All of a sudden, you hear, "Hey guys," that little raspy voice. "Hey guys, thought you were leaving," with 2 men, not boys, not our age.
Yeah,
men. Just fucking little mushy project dudes.
Yeah.
And they came over and they go, "You gonna smoke that with us?" And Frankie goes, "Fuck no." I'm like, "What do you do? They're men. We're boys. I'm 13. You're fucking 16.
Yeah.
This is And he's like, they just came over and started wailing the shit out of us.
Do you think if you had said, yeah, smoke this with us, they
Oh
wouldn't
no,
have?
we would have
got beat anyway.
That's what Frankie knew. We were getting beaten anyways.
Yeah. So
So he's not going to give up his cred or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I'll fucking blow everybody to get out of here. What do you want? So I remember they beat us up. And they were kicking Frankie on the ground. He was just taking it, and I was blood. They broke my nose. I was blood head to toe. And they bring me up and they go, "Leave him alone. He's bleeding." And I'm sitting there on the fence, and I'm like fucked up. And the guy's going, "So where you from?" I was like, Medford. He goes, "Oh, do you know?"
Shut your mouth.
Swear
dude.
to God, Mikey. Yeah, I know Mikey. Oh, tell him that Sean McGlow, whatever the fuck his name was.
Meantime,
said,
they're just beating the shit
they're
out of Frank.
kicking Frankie, and I'm just sitting there having a conversation with him, and they go, keep kicking him. He's not bleeding yet. So anyways, so he's just having this conversation, and I go, yeah, cool. And then he just fucking cracks me in the gut. And
Oh,
I go
he did?
down. Yeah, he just sucker punches me in the middle of this conversation. I go down, and then they leave. And me and Frankie wound up crawling out of the projects. We had to hop a fence, which sucked. I was so proud of myself, though, because it was the first time that I got beat up bad and didn't cry. I remember telling Frankie, he was like really, he was bleeding internally. Didn't know it. Yeah, they were kicking him so bad. He was really fucked up, and we were kind of limping him over to this fence, and I was like, Frankie, I didn't cry. I didn't cry. He said, good for you, dude. Good for you, kid. Let's get the fuck out of here. He was really hurting.
That I don't cry. It just sounds to me like what the hell's that movie with Pony Boy and shit?
Oh, yeah.
It's from the book. The Outsiders. That sounds like somebody saying like, I didn't cry. And he's like,
Yeah.
good for you, kid, as he's like bleeding internally, gonna die.
Well, because I cried so much out of being beat up or threatened to beat up or my stepfather. I cried a lot in my youth.
Yeah.
I was always getting fucking fear. Like I was always being afraid of being killed. I always felt like everybody was gonna kill me.
Yeah.
And I still have it today. That's why I have fucking anger issues. Because as soon as that shit goes off, I'm like, I'll fucking murder you.
Yeah.
Because I learned how to,
So when was the last fight you've been in?
the last physical fight. Oh boy, that had to be, wow, that's a good one. That was at.
Wait, did you go to college?
I went to Bunker Hill Community College for fine art.
For fine art?
I was going to be an art teacher.
What kind?
My goal-
What was your medium?
My medium. Well, in art school, you had to do everything.
Yeah.
So I did everything from calligraphy, desktop publishing, to oil painting.
Yeah. Calligraphy. Can you still do it?
I mean, everybody can do anything, but I mean, I couldn't just whip it out. If you whipped out a feather right now, a quill, I'd be like, I don't know what the fuck. But back then, I did it. It sucked. Calligraphy blew.
Yeah.
I like desktop publishing because that was like computer art. You know,
so my brother does.
Yeah,
Well, he
that's-
does graphic design.
Yeah, graphic design. I love that stuff. I just never had the patience for it.
Yeah.
I never had the patience for art. I would have been an art teacher. I would have been at some fucking school, some junior high teaching art.
Listen, I had a lot of art teachers.
Yeah.
I never had one like you.
Well, I would have fucking been the best.
You would have been totally different.
I would have been
breed.
banging all the teachers.
fuck are you doing?
Oh, yeah,
Just yelling at kids, being all hard ass with them when they're fucking. Nah, listen, you don't have the right context, and there's no negative space.
Yeah, but it's a macaroni vase, Mr. Kelly. Hey.
You treat all art with the same respect. And then what? You just stopped and started doing comedy?
It's a weird thing. When I got sober,
When was that?
15. When I was
can't
15.
even. I can't even. How do you? How do you even?
I went to jail.
You did?
A lot as a kid. Yeah. From the funny thing about that beating. Okay, here's the thing with that beating. I was on the run from the law at that time.
Listen, what was this? The 1800s? Who's on the run from the law?
I don't know how to phrase
in
it.
the 80s.
I'm sorry. Here's how you should say it. Here's how you update it. I love westerns. I don't know where I got. I had a warrant out for my arrest.
Okay.
Okay.
I
That's
love
how,
it.
okay.
At 13. For what?
I really
Stealing?
did.
Would you
I had
break
a
in
warrant
somewhere?
for my dead or alive. Idiot I am.
Yeah.
Thank you for calling me out on that. I was once you are in the system in Massachusetts,
Yeah.
to save money on court costs, you're in the system. You're a ward of the state, so you
If
just
you
go to
see
jail.
him, get him. If you don't, we're not going looking.
If you do anything, you go to fucking juvie jail.
Yeah.
Anything. They don't. So instead of going to court and blah 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 and figuring out, they own you till you're 18. So whatever you do, they just suck you into the system. Fuck them. Put them in. We'll figure it out later. Right. So I had run away at that point from my family. I was already a ward of the state for robbing a pizza place.
What do you mean?
Huh?
What did you rob him?
I did. We did two things. We broke Tufts University.
Dude, I performed at Tufts.
Okay.
And they did my orthodontia.
The orthodontia.
That was our level of poor or not having money. Is we had like grad students do our teeth. Like you
Right.
don't really have to pay. Like they
Yeah.
experiment on you, and yours was robbing pizza places.
Yeah.
So different levels, different.
Well, Tufts University, they had the Spicer Field, this for the soccer team and football team and the baseball team, and we would.
Tufts is a good school, by the
It's
way.
an unbelievable school, but it just so happened that their field was in our turf.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah.
So we would light the soccer poles on fire every week. We would just light them on fire, and they had to put them up every week because they had soccer games.
Yeah.
And practices. So we would light them on fire, and we would rip down the baseball fence
Jesus.
and we got caught ripping the baseball fence one day. It was the first thing I got arrested for. And then we ripped off a pizza place later on. So I had a few things.
How do you rip it off, though? Do you go
Well,
in there at
it's a
gunpoint,
funny
or
thing.
you?
No. No, we went in. I was trying to hook up with the girl working there. Her name was Gina.
And this was your play?
No, this was
Oh,
Frankie.
her name was Gina,
Frankie.
by the way. Gina, big shock. Her name was Gina.
Oh, she was so big nose.
Yeah.
Oh, she was so. I liked. She was in my history,
Curly hair?
my geography class, and I only went to school because she was there.
Yeah.
I just couldn't wait, and she wanted nothing to do with me.
If you, whatever you're right next, Gina from geography class, dude. I mean, shit.
Yeah, she was in there. She worked. So I'm trying to talk to her. Frankie comes up. We're fucked, by the way. We're trashed.
Okay.
I think we drank a case of beer each, like an old Milwaukee. We were just fucked. And I'm twisted. I'm trying to talk to her. She's actually responding to me for the first time, like all year. And Frankie's like, dude, we're robbing this place. I go, what? He goes, I just told the chef in the kitchen. He went back and said, you tell him it was a couple black guys that robbed this place. I'm taking the money. And if you don't say that, I'm going to beat the fuck out of you again. Apparently, he beat the chef up a week before. So
Oh
the
my
kid was scared of
God.
him. So you could just
I
see
love that you're calling him a chef, by the way. The guy's making $4.25 an hour at this point, and you're giving him chef credit.
Well,
He didn't go to culinary school to flip pies.
well, no, it was an Italian restaurant too.
Okay.
This is I don't want to bury the lead, but so Frankie was trash, did not open the register. I'm sitting there holding the girl's hand. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. And then he goes, I can't open the. So I go up, I push the button, I grab the money. It was like $100.
Yeah.
Okay. We run. I
But
trip.
can I call you, though?
I trip. My pinky goes over here. So my pinky's here.
Man.
I literally land on my pinky. And it's over here. I get up. I'm like, what? Frankie goes, I'll fix it. We got to go. So we go to his house. He's like, come here. There's all blood all over the money. He's like, I'll fix it. Come here. And he's doing that little laugh again. You know, he's just fucking
Yeah.
he's going to grab it and twist it. I just leave. I walk away. I wound up going to the hospital. They fixed my finger. It was twisted. And then, what happened was that
Wait a minute, did you just walk in the hospital? Did you go with your
No.
folks? Did you call your mom?
I called up 911. They hung up on me twice. And then there was these two old Italian ladies sitting in front of their house. So I went over to them, and it looked so fucked up. You know what I mean? I just went over to them, and I just fell to the ground. I held this fucked up hand with my pinky over here, and I just went, "Wah!" And they called the ambulance immediately.
Yeah.
And they came. And
you don't need insurance when you're 13.
I had nothing.
Yeah,
I
of
had
course.
nothing.
But that's the thing about Everett is like, or I feel like those kind of towns
Medford,
is
yeah.
that Medford, Everett, Somerville, there'll be like these old like ladies,
Yeah.
fellas that live amongst mayhem.
Yep.
But no one messes with them.
Nobody messes with
No.
them. There was a respect.
Yeah.
There's a respect. You respected older people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You respected even the businesses. Like I would rob people all the time.
Yeah.
Like I would
You
go.
know, respect.
My thing was I used to take people's lawn shit. If you left something on your lawn, I took it.
Yeah.
A bike, a lounge
that
chair.
was happening even in my town.
Yeah,
You know?
a Mother Mary statue. I
Yeah,
took
basic
a couple owls. Those lions, you know those lions people would have?
Yeah.
I'd take those. I'd just sell them. I had a strip of stores. I had a bakery, a pharmacy, and a deli that would buy all my shit. So I was 13. I'd just walk in with a drill. Be like, you want this drill? Yeah, how much? $5. All I needed was $5 to get fucked up.
What were you buying? Weed or buying?
When you went to my park at Tufts Park,
Yeah.
you had the older kids. And the older kids, when you went there, they'd pat you down. You give us your money. And
Yeah.
you just give them your money. You had $1, you had $20. If you had 100, they're taking it. And they would just go buy booze for the park. So all you needed was $5.
Yeah.
So I would hustle all day long to get that money.
And how many kids were hanging out there at a time?
It could be 5, it could be 20.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember one night they do potion night if there was a lot of people. So Mikey Cat would go down with all this money to the package store and buy all kinds of mixed drink stuff, like like mudslides and stuff. Get cheese cups from Lakash's bakery, and he'd just make drinks for mixed drinks, and we'd all sit there.
What do you got? You're like in a retirement community.
Dude, but here's the thing. He would say, here's how we know how. And you'd have to drink whatever was in your cup, you'd have to one sip it.
Yeah.
And he'd walk around and look in your cup. And if you lied or you didn't drink it all, he'd fucking crack you in your head. It was a weird place, man.
You think, dude? It's a weird fraternity that you were in.
It was, but it was my family,
Because none of them every one of them probably was missing either a mom or dad or all.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Or if they did have both, it's like, the dad or mom came from a fucked up situation.
Yeah.
I would imagine.
It was, there was a lot of that. I think we all kind of did. That's why we kind of went to that park. We were our family. I remember one night my uncles were looking for me who were older, and they came down the park. Like, we'll go get them. And they came down, and the older kids were there. They're like, who are you? They're like, why do you, where's Bobby? They're like, what's it to you? He's fine. Get the fuck out of here.
Because were your uncles never around?
No, my uncle. I love my uncles. They were awesome. I have a great family, but back then, even they couldn't go to that park. Like, do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's
like,
hilarious.
They were like, "Get the fuck out of here," and my uncles had to go, "Okay," because these guys were no joke.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, no joke. During the day, that park was beautiful. Kids playing around.
Yeah.
At night, it became ours.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing because all of Medford was like that. Even Somerville was the park. You couldn't go to these parks unless you were a member of that park.
Yeah.
Or I got my ass kicked so many times in Somerville walking through the wrong fucking park or wrong street.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah. So it
That's
was
my
weird.
brother-in-law grew up in Somerville, Winter Hill area.
Oof.
And like I can't even imagine what kind of upbringing he was going through.
Yeah, it's like, dude, you think about what we do with kids now. Like, my kids never heard me tell him to shut up.
Yeah.
My kids I've never touched my kid. I've never grabbed my kid by the arm and dragged him somewhere. I've never grabbed him by the hair. I've never smacked him. No. I've never done anything violent. Like, he has no fear of humans from me.
Yeah.
Which I look back on my childhood, all my fear of life that I still carry to this day, of respect and shit is from my childhood.
Yeah.
From how we were treated back then. At least I was,
Especially that middle dad, right?
The middle dad was terrible, but it was weird because nobody cared about kids back then. You just let them go. Like, I remember walking home from kindergarten.
Yeah,
Like,
so did we. I mean,
Yeah.
but we lived super close. But we walked everywhere. You just went everywhere, and you just felt like it was your town. And I think also people felt like, oh yeah, well other people were going to look out too. You know what I mean? Like those old ladies. You know what I mean?
If you saw a kid in kindergarten walking over the streets right now, you'd stop and be like, "You all right?" Like
Yeah.
it would freak me the fuck out.
Remember that lady whose kids were in 5th grade or something like that, and she let them walk home, and like they arrested her.
Why would they arrest her?
They said like, I have no idea, but that was a story like,
Right.
a couple years back about this woman, and like, I hope my kids can walk home in 5th grade, 3rd grade.
I think it's good in one way that we love our kids. We're actually we communicate with these kids now instead of we literally talk to them. We give them words, but I think we're giving them anxiety too. I think we're giving them stress because they're like, why can't you walk home? Why you can't do that? You can't get off of that. Don't do that. You're gonna get hurt. You're gonna die.
I was just gonna say so. I got a workbench that I bring in and out of here, right?
Right, yeah.
And I was in here one day, and my kids always come in here when I'm in here.
Yeah.
And I had a friends were over with their kid, and they were like, they came in, they're like, I got a saw,
Yeah.
a drill, there's all
Yeah.
this stuff, and they're like, should they be in there? Like, and I go, oh, are you nervous about that? And they're like, yeah. I go, oh, I got you. Hold on. And I tell their kid, I go, hey, come over here. I go, you see this? This is the saw.
Yeah.
And I go, all right. I go, let me see your finger. And I put their finger on the blade,
Yeah.
and then I rubbed it. I didn't cut it.
Yeah.
I just rubbed it. I go, do you see how sharp that is?
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah. And I go, don't ever touch that.
Yeah.
And they were like, okay. And the parent was like freaking while I was doing that.
Yeah.
But I was like, as long as they just want to know what it is.
Yeah.
If we say, don't go over there,
Yep.
it's dangerous.
Yep.
They want to know what's dangerous.
Yes.
So as soon as we do that, boom, they're like, oh, okay, I don't touch that.
I let my kid use the saw. I let my kid use the drill.
Yeah.
I let my kid open knives. I like custom knives.
Yeah.
I let him hold the knife, and I teach him how to hold it, and I'll let him use it on certain things because I don't want him to be afraid of it, and I don't want him to desire using it. You're right. If he understands that this could hurt him,
Yeah.
that he's going to be like, look, don't touch that. It's
100%,
dangerous.
yeah.
I bring my kid on the roof all
Yeah.
the fucking time because I remember it was one of the greatest things I've ever, as a parent.
This is where like I'm like on board. I'm like, yeah, dude, that's what. Wait a minute, on the roof?
Yeah, well, okay. Well, I've a it's a ranch. It's
Yeah, I know.
it's not like, But I was going on the roof and he's like, I want to go. I'm like, okay, you want to do this? I knew he was going to be scared. He climbs up the ladder and he stops and he starts freaking out. And I'm like, all right, man, just keep going. And he's freaking. Then he starts fucking losing it. He's crying.
Yeah.
My wife's looking at me like, and I'm like, look, I don't, Max. At one point, I was like, you don't have to do this. You did great. You can get back down. And he got back down and he's fucking, bawling. And he went in the house and then he comes back out and she's like, he wants to do it.
Ugh.
And he crawls up again. I'm like, okay, buddy, you got this. And he's grown up and he's crying and he finally gets to the top and he gets up on top. He's fucking losing it. And he literally collapses in my arm and holds me crying. He's like, Dad, I just felt bad when I went in that I couldn't do it. I wanted to do it and I didn't know how to do it. And I'm like, well, you did. He goes, I did do it. And then he for 5 minutes, he's sit there crying. I'm like, what the fuck? This is the best moment ever.
Yeah.
Oprah should see this, And
You're
then
like, but I do got to get these gutters clean, buddy.
well, as soon as 5 minutes go, and then he's walking around the roof. I'm like, all right, not to the edge, because I'm afraid of heights. I'm like, no. That's it. Sit down. Stop. Get over here. Because now he's just running around the fucking roof.
Yeah.
And I was like, you got to learn that, if you fall off, you're going to get really hurt. But he was over it. And now he wants to go on the roof all the fucking time.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's like, I these other friends of mine, their kids don't even swim.
Yeah.
It's like your kid doesn't. He's 5.
I know.
And he doesn't swim. They threw us in a pool, and you had to get back to the edge.
Well, in your neighborhood, they probably threw you in the pool. You had to go down and knife someone in the bottom of the pool. No, I know. My buddy was like looking at houses, and I like, dude, I was like helping him looking online. I'm like, dude, look at this place with a pool. He goes, nah, I'm not getting a pool. I go, why? He goes, I'd just be too afraid of the kids. I'm like, you teach them how to swim, and you put a fence up. And teach them how to swim. But like, I love that you got him up there on the roof. Like I feel like I would do that too. I mean, we just don't go on this roof. But I remember as a kid, we had like 2 floors at our house, and
Yeah.
we had to clean the gutters. There was no dad there to
Yep.
clean the gutters.
Yeah.
So I would get up to the top, and it would be pitched down. Just 2 gables, I guess.
Yeah.
And I would just like scoop down, and then like I'd be on the side of the people must have been driving by like, what the fuck goes
What
on at
the
that
fuck
house?
is happening?
Because this kid's in 3rd grade up there cleaning fucking gutters.
I think there was a generation of little pussified parents and pussified kids that I think we're dealing with now with all this social justice and afraid of everything. And I think that the generation that we're raising,
Yeah.
we're good people. We're teaching them great values. We're teaching them civility, but we're also teaching them that you're gonna take care of yourself. You're not gonna have fear,
Dude.
You know what I mean? Use your words. Have a conversation.
Well, I even to this extent, when we go to school with the kids, from day one, they had to carry their lunch in. You carry your lunch into school. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? I'm like, that's your lunch. You got you that's your lunch.
Yeah,
That ain't
yeah.
my lunch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's not like I love my kids, but I'm like giving you the power to be in charge of your lunch.
Yeah.
And now it's never been a problem. Day one, both of them. And I see other parents and like, I never will carry his lunch. I'm like, that's because you probably start carrying.
Yeah, because you're an asshole.
Yeah.
Because you're an asshole and you gave in to look at. We always thought you had to beat the hell out of them and scream at them, or you just gave them what they wanted to because you don't want them to be
want
fucked
it.
up
Yeah.
like you. No, there's definitely gradations of that.
Yeah.
You don't have to hit them. I remember talking to my therapist. I'm like, he's doing this thing at 3. Because there's no terrible 2s. It's terrible 3s and 4s.
Yeah, I never had. I remember I asked Brian Posehn one time. I'm like, "Hey man, did your son go through the terrible 2s?" He's like, "Nah, we didn't have the terrible 2s. We had my son's a fucking asshole 3s."
Yes. The guy who wrote that book should be put in prison.
What, the terrible 2s?
Because he even admitted that he fucking fucked up. There's no such thing as
I
terrible
didn't even know
2s.
that was a book.
It's a book. That's where it all comes from. Some asshole wrote a book, and everybody was like, the terrible 2s.
Yeah.
So from 2 to 3, we were like, we got a good one. We got a good one.
We're in the clear.
We're
yeah.
in the clear. I remember saying that to my wife, baby, we got a good one. And then at 3, we were like, what the fuck happened? And I remember talking to my therapist. He's like, I had trying to get him to do this thing, and he wouldn't listen. And he goes, just count to 5. And I'm like, what? He goes, tell him you're going to count to 5, and he's going to get a consequence. But do it with no anger. And I was like, what? So I remember I went home that day, and I was like, Max, go put your socks on. And he's like, I don't want to. I go, I'm going to count to 5. And I went, 1. He ran. There's something about counting.
I do. I'm 3. But
Right.
that was just, no therapist. I just, for me, instinctually was like, all right, that's it. 1. And my son was like,
Yeah. There's
my
something
daughter,
about-
will just be like,
Oh, really?
yeah, she's like Frankie.
You're right.
She'll fucking like, God, what are you going to do? You going to hit me?
Frankie
You ain't going to do
fucking-
shit. She sits there, or she does it reluctantly, like, nah, and like, will like crawl her way down the hall.
I'm so glad I didn't have a girl because I'm doing all right with the boy.
Yeah.
But a girl is, I think, a tough thing.
Just because girls are like, women in general are strong, determined, confident,
Yep.
decisive.
Yeah.
And like my son is just like, you could be like, hey, we're gonna go get ice cream, like, unbelievable,
Yeah.
getting ready to do it, right? And then you'd be like, oh buddy, something came up, we can't get ice cream, and he'll go, oh, okay,
Right.
and my daughter would be like, no, like, you said it, we're fucking doing it, and I'll get ice cream, I'll climb up, and she'll find a way into like an ice cream shop, and you're like, God, good, just sometimes.
You know what's so funny about all this and like the business we're in is like, I watch your Instagram, and we met on the Comics Come Home, and I see the way you live your life and the way I live my way, and it's a great thing to me because a long time ago, I've always waited for a certain type of success to be happy. That's why I didn't get married. That's why I couldn't fall in love. That's why I couldn't have real friendships in my life, because I needed to be able to cut everything off at a second's notice to go do whatever I had to do to reach this thing that I've seen people get. Seen these, private jets and big things and pay. And then there was one point where I was like, I might not be that. I might not have my own private jet.
Yeah.
You can't do everything, and I'm sorry, but you can't. You can't.
No.
You can try, and I sure as hell did. And I guess if I focused in more, but I just wouldn't be happy. And I was like, I'm just going to be happy right now. I just want to be happy now because I love comedy. I love acting. I do it. Sometimes it coming in a lot. Sometimes it's dry as a motherfucker. But I always have this comedy that I can kind of make a living at and pay my bills. And I was like, I'm going to go fucking be happy right now. I look now and I'm like, I got this house,
Yeah.
and I got this backyard, and I got this kid, and I got this wife, and I got these friends, and I can't wait to get home.
Yeah.
I
See, this is the same thing happened for me. I was like, I waited to get married. That was more so because I wanted to make sure I was in the best situation because I came from one that wasn't there.
Right.
And then we were like waiting to have a kid because I kept saying like, I want more money. You know, I kept thinking you had to have all this money to have a kid. And then one day I just said to my wife, I'm like, what are we doing? We're going to let the world dictate that what our happiness is when all we really want to do is just like start a family. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Let's just do it. And then I remember saying to my wife, like the house we have now, I'm like, can we agree that we'll stay in this house till the boy's 2 at least, and then we'll try and make enough money to afford a bigger place.
Right.
Cut to my boy's 5.
Right.
We still live here, and we're like, it's great. Our kids share a room. They love it. They're like bonding. And I used to always say like, anytime I would make like short films and like make different comedic projects, put on a stand-up show, do this, I was like, having less money makes you more creative. You find ways to make things work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Instead of being like, oh, I need a certain amount of money. No, you don't. You just need to like, you'll dig and find things. I did these shorts with Al Madrigal and Roy Scovel. All took place in a diner, and one was a funeral. Right. And I wanted to do a funeral, but I couldn't like afford to get like a parlor or all that. So I was like, all right, I could just make the person got cremated.
Yeah.
You know? So then like they were at the diner and I'm like, oh, well, I need to get a vase. So we started looking up how much those cost, and I couldn't get anything. I ended up going to Marshall's and found a flower vase, and we turned it into a joke. The joke became Al had this little bit of ashes from his uncle, and we're like, why is it so small? He goes, well, they divide them up. Everybody got a little bit of them.
Right.
And then we turn a joke like, would you get like an arm in here? That's probably about an arm, you know, like, and turn this thing, because we didn't have the money to get all these things. Yeah. And you challenge yourself to like see it differently and
creativity. I mean, I think it was Steve Jobs said that about creativity. When the money comes in, it's dead. When money comes in, it kind of dies because, you know, it's just like there's like I remember me, Billy Burr, and DeRosa were in New York, and we were like, look, nobody's given us anything. There's nothing out there for us. Let's just do it. Let's just make a movie.
Yeah.
And we just wrote a movie and made it. And then it got into Tribeca.
That was the
and
one.
Then it got
what was that? Cheat, yeah, about cheating on your girl or whatever.
And then we got into Tribeca. We got a deal with FX, and all of a sudden we got a book deal. It turned into this crazy thing that we got to do from one little creative idea because nobody was helping us. We just, you know. So yeah, I do love the fact that you can do this in your backyard. You know, I love the fact, but also at any time I can connect with my life. My life is not this business. My life is not making it. My life is not, and I know I see these certain people that had just, it is pinpoint focus. I'm gonna be famous as fuck.
Oh yeah.
And I've been there, and I understand it, and I respect it. I don't sit there and say you're missing out, because that's not my life. But I know where my heart was. I feel better knowing that, you know, my kid's dying to see. I'm going to go home tomorrow. My kid's going to flip out. He's going to look through my bag for a little gift because I bring him something every time I come home, some little shit piece of candy or whatever. And then we're going to talk for a little bit. And then we're going to go in the backyard and we're going to do some shit in the back. And then we're going to run around. And I'm going to go until fucking 9:30 till he falls asleep. I'm going to be wiped.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm excited. Me and my wife are going to talk. We're not going to bang. You know what I mean? But whatever. It's like, I built this thing that is mine that I get to go enjoy, and I love it. I fucking love it. I really do. And we say the same shit. Dude, because we're in a school system, it's good, but it's not the best in Westchester. We should move. And we're like, he's fine. He's fine. So he's the only white kid in the school, and he gets beat up. No, I'm kidding. But no, it's fine. It's fine. I mean, he's not going to go to high school there, but listen, he's fine. We're definitely moving.
So how did you, if you're growing up in Everett, or I'm sorry, in Medford, how are you, like, where the hell did you learn how to build shit?
You know what it is, man? It's in you. That thing.
This is the art teacher, Bobby.
This is from my stepdad who passed away, and I think my grandfather, who's just awesome.
Where did he grow up?
He grew up in Medford. He's the one who had the house, 13 people in one house. And he would just be in the backyard doing things all the time. And he would take the time. My grandfather would take the time where he'd be like, "Come here for a second," and he'd be like, "You see this?" And you're like, "Fuck." Yep, you know what that is? It's a rose. You know what kind of rose? It's a rose. You know, there's different kinds of rose. That's a fucking Texas, blah, blah. And that comes from, and I'm like, all right. And you're like, okay, cool. And he goes, you got to put, you know how that gets in the ground? And 20 minutes later, you're like, dude, I want to go.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden, you're at your house in your 40s. That's that rose. And you got to plant it in this, and that looks beautiful, and it lasts. All that shit comes back.
Yeah.
My stepdad would always be like, "Can you give me a hand?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And all of a sudden, you're putting in a new deck. I'm like, "This isn't groceries is a hand."
Yeah, totally.
You know what I mean? Get the mail as a hand.
Moving a couch is given a
hand. This is fucking manual labor, dude.
Yeah.
3 days later, I'm still wheelbarrowing fucking gravel, but I remember those days with him, and then you sit on that deck, and you're like, I built this.
Yeah.
He's gone, but I see this area, and I'm like, I remember doing this with him.
The first time, I never, like, my grandfathers were both, well, my grandfather, Reed, was actually, like, really handy and would build shit, like, redid his whole basement, but he passed when I was 5. But, like, my friend came one day and left tools, and I ended up building this table, and he said, he goes, "Man, give a guy some tools, huh?" And I was like, oh, yeah, I guess I can build stuff. So when my son was turning 2, we had a party for him, but, like, we're going to have all these kids over, right? So I'm like, we're going to need picnic tables. So I just, like, my neighbor gave me, like, a little kid's picnic table, and then, like, I just looked at all the dimensions, and then I built 3 picnic tables out here for his birthday. And when I finished, or was close to finish, my wife, like, came in the alley with him, and he came out, and, dude, his face was like exploding at happiness that there were these tables his size. And, like, from that point on, like, anytime I built stuff, he and his sister come up and help. And now, like, they're doing it at a young age. Same with your boy, because you're always doing stuff. So now that's something that's, like, embedded in there. It's
something that you need to teach your kid. You need to teach your kid that you can do these things. Like, you can take care of yourself.
Yeah.
You know? My kid helps me with the stuff too. Like, we built a pirate ship in the back. We built the zip line.
Like a zip line.
There was a stump we had, a tree we cut down, and I actually wanted to build a throne for me to sit and smoke my cigar. It's right in the middle of the backyard, and it looks over everything. Yeah. So I just pictured myself. I was gonna dig out the stump and put a little seat custom to my ass, and put holders in the side where I could smoke my cigars and just look over the backyard. And she was like, "No, that's not happening." And you can literally see right into the kitchen. I'd be like, "I can watch you do dishes and cook."
And she's like, "What year do you think this is?"
And she goes, "You're out of your fucking mind." So my kid was like, "I want a pirate ship." So, you know, it's funny. YouTube is the greatest thing, because all you have to do is go, all right, how do I want to frame something in? Just ask it your question, and there's some dude, some knucklehead. Well, you want to get 4x4s, not 2x4s.
Yeah.
You know, you could use that. And it's just, you know, a 20-minute video, and I retain that shit way better than reading.
Of course, when you're seeing it.
You see it, and I'm in it, and I got it. But we were talking about this because you built your bed. Yeah. I built a science table. Mine was Christmas this year. Build him a science table. So I'm like, you know, I build this whole thing. I go to Home Depot, and I come back, and she's like, "Well, how much did it cost?" I was like, "It's probably around $8,000 for this table." You can buy them on Amazon for $125, but this is around it. But he'll have this forever because you know that's maple, that's teak on the front. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a lighting system. I had to buy 3 because I fucked up the first 2. But it is like that science table he fucking lost his mind over.
Yeah.
And he'll have that forever.
Yeah.
He'll have that thing forever.
And it's like when you do that stuff, it gives them a greater interest in it. It's something that wasn't, then became, and then you made it. It's not like it was just like something that showed up in an Amazon box and you put together, and they're like, you know, and it's like, you know, you can find these things to do with your kids in any regard. It doesn't have to just be, you know, something you build.
I don't get these. I go to the park in New York a lot. And even up in Westchester where I live, Bestchester, I see these dads on their phones, and I don't understand. I don't understand what they're not getting. Like your dad, what did your dad do? Nothing. Your dad didn't do anything. He didn't hit you, he didn't abuse you or whatever, but he did in some way because you're not playing with your kid. You know, you're not with your kid right now. You're just sitting there letting him walk around by himself. And I don't understand. I want to talk. I literally want to go up and go, dude, put your fucking phone down. What, are you stupid? Yeah. This technology is brand new. It doesn't exist. Therefore, it doesn't need to be there. You don't need, whatever the fuck you're doing, you don't really need to do for the next hour.
Yeah.
Because we just got that in the last 10 years.
Yeah. And we're built in now to think that, like, you ever like get a text and you like go to respond and you're like, no, I'll get to that later. Yeah. Like we built in it's like hard. That, like, we don't need to respond to things. Yeah. You know what I mean? We think we need to. No, you don't.
You don't need to do shit, especially when you go home. And I understand it though. It's so great to have an iPad because when you and your wife want to fucking just have a coffee and talk, hey dude, why don't you play your Minecraft?
Yeah.
Doug. You know, fine. But we have to have these rules, and it's hard. I say that.
Is that you or me?
That's you.
I know, but I don't ever have a ringer. Look how that happens.
And you're going to look at it, too.
No, I'm just turning the ringer off.
No, I'm kidding. It would have been so funny if you went 1 second. Listen.
Yeah, I got to get this. I don't have the comedic timing to do that.
1 second, Bob. That's a good thought. Listen, yeah. Okay, yeah, we'll be there.
Just let me handle this.
Yeah, I got one little spot at the Improv tonight. What's that? Okay, after Sandler, great, no props. Bye.
Let me ask. So, what about because, like, you know, like when people don't put their bins back at the airport, like you know those bins.
I want to fucking kill them.
You know what I do? I come over. I'm like, let's put our bins back. Everybody's gonna put their bins. Like I work there. I mean, I never do it
because you have gears. You have 1 through 6.
And you got 1 to 6.
I have 1 and 6.
Yeah.
I can't do that. Because I go, why don't you put your fucking bins back?
Yeah.
Cocksuckers die.
Yeah.
And then I look like a lunatic and I'm off in cuffs.
Yeah.
I'm trying to learn gears with the human, like everybody else. I can be very calm and loving, which is my base.
Yeah.
As a really just that little kid before he got abused.
Yeah.
That's my base. That's who I am. Little Bobby.
Yeah.
I call him Little Bobby. I'm that guy most of the time. But then I become, you know, that little fuck, Kelly. They used to call me, Kelly.
Yeah.
I turn into that psycho when that shit happens, when I feel like respect or, you know, somebody's taking advantage of me, or I'm doing the right thing and
they're not. That's the one that always is me. I'm like, what do you think is going on here? Do you know what society is? Do you know how we all function in the world? It's because we all do our part. And that's, no one's taking that bin back for you, you idiot.
I really admire the people that just go, you know, you can put your bin back, or they just take your bin. I'll do it for you.
Yeah.
And they teach a lesson.
Yeah.
But have complete, like in total 4th gear.
Yeah.
Like total, or like 3rd, like right between, you know, hey man, you put your bin backs over here, I think, but whatever, I'll put it back. And they're like, oh, I'll do it. And you see that little moment of they helped them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll always be like, hey, we got to put our bins back, guys. And I'm like, and by the way, you can put your belt on over there at that little bench. See the little benches? You don't need to do that.
I don't have
here.
that ability. I wish I did have that ability to be passive aggressive. I have aggressive. That's all I have.
Yeah.
My wife, the fucking queen of passive aggressive.
Yeah.
Oh, the best. Oh, and I'm aggressive. That's why it's hard for us. Because my therapist is teaching me how to be, I think, a little passive aggressive. Because it just a fucking have like a level playing field with her.
It's the further away from Boston you grew up, your passive aggressive levels. You know what I mean? You didn't have it.
She can push me to the edge, and then all of a sudden I'm snapping in a Stop and Shop, and I'm the bad guy.
Yeah.
And she was the original fucker. Yeah, you know, if we went
totally.
back and we CSI'd this and we went to court, she'd go to jail.
Yeah.
She would go to fucking jail. Like, with the evidence, she would be in jail. But
you probably have a couple misdemeanors on your
But
thing.
the only evidence they have is a videotape of me going, "It's a fucking sandwich!"
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because she pushed me to that level.
Yeah.
But there's not the evidence of me going, "Baby, I don't care." No, it's fine. We can have whatever you want. I don't care. I am trying to lose weight. I know, but I'm a little hungry, and it's a fucking sandwich.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck what? And then she walks away. Fine, whatever. Get whatever you want. I'm just trying. You told me to help, and I'm like, yeah, but I told you to help, but you're not helping.
Oh, I've done that too.
Yeah.
I'm like, just keep me on check. You know what I mean? Just keep me dialed in. She'll be like, all right. And then she'll say something I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you? I know it. She's like, you told me to. I'm like, yeah, I know I told you to. Good. Thanks for.
You look good.
Yeah.
You
Thanks,
son of
man.
a bitch.
I worked at it, dude. We talked about it a little bit. What's your hold up on keto?
It's not keto. It's.
Hold on. Let me just make some.
I don't know. I'm gonna fucking work it out. I think weight this year is gonna be.
So wait, you got sober at 15.
Yeah.
Did you have to go into any program or?
Oh yeah, I went to a place called. I went to jail. Again, up in Rochester. I just visited it last week.
Rochester,
too.
New York.
Yes.
For how long?
I was a ward of the state of Boston, so they shipped me back to Mass.
And what was your mom doing during this? Was she like trying to get her son back? Or
well, they lived in Rochester, out in Spencerport. They had moved, so I moved with them.
Oh, okay.
I went from jail, foster home, to move back with them, and they were up in Rochester. So I lived up there. I worked on a farm. And I wound up getting drunk and ripping off a gumball machine and getting arrested. And like I said, just put them away. I was in jail for a week up there. And it was the worst juvie jail ever. It was like real prison for kids. And then they shipped me back down to Boston. And I went to this place, NFI Shelter Care, which is one of the places that saved me. This guy, Yitzhak, came up with this new way called normalization, where the windows would be open, the doors would be open. If you want to run, run. Yeah. But if you don't run, and we make 30 days together as a unit, we'll have pizza. If we make 60 days, we'll have lobster. And he kind of gave kids responsibility. Yeah. These kids that was dying for it.
Which, by the way, back to the same thing, like the kids want responsibility from Jump Street.
They do.
They want discipline. They want to be held accountable. They want to succeed. And go ahead.
You're right. No, you're right. And I actually just got an award from them this year. I went back to.
You got that lobster roll?
No, they gave me a drum, an African drum.
For what? For like.
It's an award for being successful, because that was the last time I went back in there. From there, I actually asked somebody. I was like, I want to go to rehab. I knew drugs and alcohol were the problem. I knew that was the common denominator, that I was always there. Anytime I got in trouble, that was there, right? You could take out the friends, the drinking was there. You could take out the town, the drink. That's the thing. Yeah. So I decided to get sober, and I went to an all-male rehab for anywhere. I think it was from 9 to 18 kids. There was 24 of us in this house, and I went there for a year and 2 months. Damn. I lived there. I didn't see my family. Maybe twice. You were there all the time. No fraternization with women, meetings, groups. I put my life into this, recovery. And then when I got out, I was in the meetings. I went to the same meetings for 5 years.
At what age?
When I got out, it was around 16.
Damn.
And then I moved back in with my mom. And I went to these meetings, the same meetings for 5 years, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I would go to AA dances and, drink coffee and dance the B-52s and try to bang sober chicks, you know. And then went to high school, started in shit classes. I think I had 2 classes a day, and then I worked at a styrofoam factory, and there was a mentally handicapped dude, mentally challenged guy was my boss. I remember we used to make styrofoam balls, and he would yell at me all the time because I wasn't doing it right. Because it was so funny. He was this great guy, but he was, back then they called him mentally retarded.
Yeah.
But now they're mentally challenged. But yeah, he would just yell at me all the time because you're not doing it right. I'd be like, what? And there was a little Mexican lady that worked there too. It was me, him, and her. It was this weird little sitcom of life.
God, it's a total sitcom.
Yeah, and then I got my shit together, and I went to high school. I worked my way back to the regular classes. I hooked up with the art teachers. They would love me.
Yeah.
And they're the ones who got me the scholarship to Bunker Hill for art.
Oh.
So I kind of...
So wait, when did the weight become a thing?
Weight was always an issue.
Yeah.
Now, in 6th grade, I gained weight for the first time, and I remember that was the first time that I was just fucked. That's when that guy was in my life, the stepdad, and the kids wanted to beat me up, and I remember this kid spread a rumor that I was gay, and it was just, I didn't even know what that meant, but I knew it was just bad, and I remember these kids would threaten me all the time, and I was just, and I had nobody. I remember your parents didn't talk, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
You'll be fine. That's what you got as a kid. You'll be fine. I remember just crying one day because I thought I was going to be killed. I just thought he was going to kill me. The kids at school were going to choke me out. And I was going to be dead.
Yeah.
I just always thought I was that's a fucked up thing to think about. Think about if your son was just in his brain like, I feel like these kids are going to kill me, Dad. Or I feel like you're going to kill me the way you hit me and yell at me.
Yeah.
And I would tell my mother that. You'd be like, you'll be all right. You'll be fine. I'm not going to be. You got to fucking help me.
Yeah.
You got to go talk to these kids. You got to walk me to school and work it out. You got to get me out of this jam, you fucking twat. But it's not her fault. It's just the way it was. You just dealt with it. And I remember...
Well, I think it's not. It was the way that was dealt with, but you were also in a circumstance that was like elevated. You know what I mean?
It was.
Because there were people hitting you, and there were bad situations in school. If that was like, if you were getting like, had those thoughts because you were like afraid to go to school and you were living in Winchester, people were like, yeah, you're going to be fine. It's going to work out.
Yeah.
Which those kids, 90% of the time, it probably does work out. You know, I'm sure there's other cases, but like,
it was weird. I remember that's when I gained weight the first time.
Yeah.
I just started eating. And I remember, this is sad. I don't know if you want me to tell this, but it's very, I don't want to end on this.
We'll see how sad it gets.
Well, I remember she had left him, finally.
The middle guy.
Just left him. And now we're living at this, this apartment, this 2-bedroom apartment. My mother's sleeping in the living room on the floor. Mm-hmm. She didn't want to move back with her family. She wanted to do it. She was working, I think, 6 or 7 days a week. And, I was just fucked. I had no friends. I had nobody. I was so depressed. I would come out of school with my lunch, go out the front door, go around the back. There was like a little tornado door to the basement, and I'd crawl down to the basement. And in the corner of the basement, I put this little area where I had a blanket and a pillow, and I would sit there and just sleep all day.
After school?
No, while school was happening.
Oh, okay.
I would just go down there and sleep because I didn't want to go to school. I was so scared of school. So I would go in and I'd sleep there and just I was in a depression. I didn't even know it.
Yeah.
And I would just sit there and I had snacks and I would buy all these snacks or, eat my lunch and then go to the store and run back and forth. And I would just sit in this little corner of the basement all day until around 2. And then when school was over, I'd come out and blah. My mom would come home and blah, blah. This happened for on and off. And then I did it for like a week and a half once. And that's when they finally, like, what's going on with him? I actually was running to get some food and I bumped into my mother. And she was like, hey, I got to work early. Why are you out of school early? I was like, half a day. And we went back, we got a sub, and then she got the call that day. She's like, you haven't been to school. It flipped out of me, and I just gained weight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gained a lot of weight.
Because, what's funny is
It became my friend.
Yeah.
It became my little, in that basement, having that devil dog and the sandwiches or whatever.
Devil dogs.
It's and the ring dings.
Yeah.
I would sit there and eat them, and it made me feel, I was all alone, and I ate, and I would feel good.
Yeah, man, you were definitely alone. That's amazing. No, I mean, that is. It's crazy. Yeah. I remember being in high school, and, like, I would get, like, money for the week for, like, food.
Right.
And, like, I would get for lunch would be 2 cheeseburgers, 2 orders of fries, 2 milks.
Holy shit.
But I was playing soccer and baseball. I graduated high school at 185. I was I was always in good shape, but my friends would call me fat all the time because I was eating so much.
Yeah.
And I remember then being like, yeah, you're fat. And it was like a weird complex thing. For me, it wasn't anything. And then it wasn't until I got older that when I did get fat, like that was like, I moved to LA at 215 and then I dropped weight to like 178. And then I was like in great shape, and then I was in shape, and then when I hit my 30s, I just like stopped not caring, and then like weight then became a struggle. Like I would go up, I go down, and then finally, I was just like, all right, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
You just gonna this is just gonna be the rest of your life. You're just always gonna be, because back to something you said earlier, all I ever wanted to do is like I just want to be in good enough shape to hop a fence. I just want to be able to jump a fence. You know what I mean? And it's like the fucking baddest thing you can do is you can just hop a fence, no problem. People are like, what the fuck? I just hop a fence.
I tried to do that. My son played Little League last year.
Yeah.
And his thermos or something fell over the fence to the other park.
Oh, boy.
And Dawn was like, she's like, I'll get it. I go, I got it, no problem. And I went to jump the fence. I almost took down the whole fence.
Dude.
Like I remember just hearing, and I had to jump. I had to like flop back on my back this way.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'll walk around.
Yeah.
And I remember the parents were like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
I was took out the whole fucking thing. But
so
dude.
What's your deal with it? Do you want to lose weight?
Yeah,
or
dude, I do.
like,
It's a weird thing because weight is in my family. Weight is like
same with me.
It's just that it sucks because it's the only form of you can call somebody fat. Nobody, it's funny. Nobody gives a fuck.
Yeah.
And I don't really, I get it. And when someone makes a fat joke about me, I go, okay, yep, you're right on the money.
Yeah.
But it makes it hard to try because you're like, just be fat then. You know what I mean?
100%.
My therapist told me a week ago, why don't you just be fat? Just be fat.
Own it.
And own it and be happy because you're miserable being fat and not being skinny. Why don't you just be fat and just be happy? And I was like, because I'm not. I want to fucking, then do it, fatso.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And then you're just 100%. I mean, I would build it into my routine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In my stand-up, then I would make like fat jokes about myself.
I
and then
stopped doing that.
Yeah, I was like, fuck this noise. I'm not that fat dude.
Yeah, I used to have a lot of fat jokes. I don't really do them anymore. But I am gonna this summer. The one thing is you try to do it for this business. You feel like every time I come to LA, I immediately feel like shit physically. And that's been a 20-year thing for me.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, it doesn't matter where I was never good enough to be here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because everybody is so on point.
Well, I mean, there are people that aren't, but even the people that aren't, they're the ones that own it.
Yes.
They're like, yeah, I'm fat, and that's why I get work, and I'm super happy. You want to go check out this restaurant? You know what I mean?
I feel like I'm stuck in the middle.
Yeah.
Maybe we're stuck in the middle of this. Like I can't. I'm better skinny. People like me better thin, but then they hate you too.
You know what it is though? I've been finding because I've lost this weight recently. Is that it's like my buddy told me, I'm not in AA, but he told me there's this like saying. It's like attraction versus
attraction rather than a promotion.
Then promotion, yeah,
yeah.
And it's like the first time in my life that I just like people have been just attracting and I'm not doing anything.
Yeah.
I'm not go tooting off about it. I mean, I talk about it like when we, but
yeah, you bugged me when you walked out today because I was comfortable because I know you as a little chubbier.
Yeah.
And I would like walk in here, maybe there would have been donuts or I don't know. When you walked out, and then when you walked out, and I was like, oh, this cocksucker is good looking again. Like he shredded up.
Dude, you know what's happened since I quit booze? I have friends that almost like don't even want to hang out with me.
Yeah, good.
They're just like, so what? Like, when are you gonna drink again? Or they'll do this. This is a funny thing. They go, you can't have one drink with me. Just have one drink. And I'm like, yeah, I should throw away my whole constitution for fucking one drink with you. You fucking idiot.
Yeah, I don't get it. I mean, everybody knows I don't drink. Like we just did this comedy camp thing in the woods.
I know. I was so jealous.
Oh, you should go to it next year.
Oh my god.
Come.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to try to get an LA contingency to come out next year.
Yeah.
That way we can play some sports or do some wiffle ball or something.
Yeah.
It was hilarious. But everybody there was, I'm just sitting there passing joints and bowls and alcohol.
Were you smoking cigars though?
Oh yeah, fucking big bats.
Yeah.
It was one of the greatest things ever. But everybody's doing fucking shrooms and fucking smoking and drinking.
Well, Ari's there. There's got to be shrooms.
Yeah. Oh, he's one of my favorite people in the world.
I mean, he's amazing. I don't know anyone passes as little judgment on people as Ari Shaffir.
He really is. I learned a lot from that guy, believe it or not. I've always liked Ari from the day I met him, even when people like don't like that guy.
He doesn't judge anyone.
He's fucking crazy. He loves just doing shit. Like I remember we pulled up, he just walked into the woods.
Yeah.
It's like where's he going? I'm like, it's Ari. He's going into the woods. That's what he does. But he doesn't expect you to go in.
Yeah.
If you want to, you can come.
Totally.
You can come with me, but if you don't want to, I'll be back in a little while.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's really one of the best guys I've met in my career. One of my favorite people to, there's no hang. Like you call him, he'll call you back. And if he doesn't answer, you know he's not answering because he can't.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, he's just, there's certain guys you call them, they never call you. There's those little weird games that this business does.
Yeah, I think, but it's not just the business. I think it's just people in general, especially at we all get hung up. Social media too has also taken our business away from us and given everybody a sort of way to be out there, so people can live to any.
Yeah.
Anyway,
You just threw up in your mouth?
I'm burping. Thanks for bringing it up.
Fucking keto steak and cheese.
So what's up? Do you think? Here's the other thing with the keto thing, is the food and the booze for me were always associated with events. Like if I went to a baseball game, I'm like,
right.
I'm gonna get a dog. I'm probably gonna get a sausage out front of Fenway, and then I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna get a big beer. I'm gonna get a dog. I'll probably get a pretzel, and I want peanuts to snack on.
Yeah.
I've been to 2 baseball games since I've been doing this, and I'm like, I'll get peanuts.
Yeah.
And in LA, you can go. I went to the Celtics Bucks game 2 with my son. We're back in Boston, and I was like, had to walk around to like 25 food stands to find something I could eat.
Yep.
And they had like this carving station that they made sandwiches, and I'm like, hey, can you just do me a favor and just give me lettuce in a box with like the meat on top of it and tomatoes, and then I'll take this ranch dressing right here.
Right.
And they were like, all right, and they had never done that.
Right.
Whereas like if you went to Staples Center, they probably had name it, you could get it.
Yeah, they can have whatever you want.
Anything.
Just cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just like didn't, I'm not drinking. And
yeah, you're right. I think the event, it's hard too because being a dad and having so many little snacks. My wife is great though. She doesn't buy shit food. Like we go to McDonald's very rarely. He has soda once in a while.
Yeah.
We don't have soda in the house. We don't fuck with. She's very good with that. But there's still Cheez-Its and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh man, when I come home late at night after a couple spots and you take your shoes
how long is that
off,
drive back for you? 35
minutes, 40 minutes, and then you take your shoe and it's 2 a.m. You fucking boom. Get that Cheez-Its. You recorded the Bruins game or a Red Sox game, and just a whole box of Cheez-Its, and you get in the corner of your mouth.
Oh yeah, I would chew them all and then build up that wad of like that chew. Always.
Yeah, you gotta eliminate food to being that fun thing.
Yes.
You got to eliminate that, and it's a psychological thing. That's why I'm trying to take this summer to focus not on my career, not on podcasting, not on any of this stuff. Just do the shows I have.
Yeah.
And focusing on my eating and my working out. I really want to do that because I feel
all I'm saying is the one thing about that keto diet is you can at least have a boat ton of cheese and meat, and then you're still eating a ton of vegetables. You're not eating a lot of fruit.
Yeah.
You can still it's just about like I told you, hunger is my bitch now.
Yeah.
Like
you love it.
I love it. I feel hungry now, and I'm like, I don't answer to you, bro.
Yeah.
I don't answer to you. I'll be hungry, and I'm fine.
It is I have that joke in my act. I go, I've been full for 5 years. I don't know what hunger feels like, what real hunger feels like.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is because I wake up and I put something in my face.
Yeah.
I have a house.
Yeah.
I have a fridge. I have cabinets. I have a platinum Amex. I get in all the lounges. I'm always, but you know what I'm saying? It's.
I will say this.
Yeah.
I bought a 2000 Ford Explorer off my friend
Yeah.
at brunch for $1,500, and it was a 2000 Ford Explorer, and I bought it in 2008. Wow. So he sold it to me for $1,500. CarMax was going to give him $2,000. He's like, I go, don't leave brunch. We're hanging out, And he's like, I got to go to CarMax, and I'm like, he goes, you want to buy the car? I'm like, I look at my wife. I'm like, can I buy this car? She's like, yeah, let's buy it. $1,500 because I was like, had this other beater.
Yeah.
I drove that thing until a year and a half ago, and I bought a new car.
Right.
New used. So in 2018, I bought a 2014, and it's a nicer car.
Right.
It's a luxury car.
Right.
But it's got 60,000 miles, and it's like, I'm like, oh, this is a smart purchase, And if you worked out what I paid for that car, I paid like $6 a month on that last car. So I got myself a car. So when I got that car, I said to my wife, I'm like, I want to be the guy that gets out of this car that looks as good as this car looks.
Right.
And now finally I'm like, it just feels like now the high is, being hungry and not caring. And then like people being like, fuck, getting mad at me because I look good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't care about getting shredded again, but I do care about, I would like.
This ain't shredded.
No, you look good.
This is where we're at. Like, dude, he's yoked, bro.
I want to just get, I need to drop, I need to get healthy.
Healthy.
I am healthy right now. I got a checkup, but that's not real to me.
Yeah.
Because I know I'm not.
Yes.
And I know that my habits aren't healthy. Therefore, I can't take care of myself fully. So I can't, all the stuff that I enjoy right now, I can't fully because I still feel bad about myself. I'm sick of hating. I've hated myself my whole life.
Yeah.
And that was given to me. And now I'm the one keeping it going, and it kind of bothers me.
Jesus, dude, that's huge.
That I don't have to do that anymore. I have a lot. Everybody in my life loves me.
Yeah.
There's no more hate in my life. The only one that hating me is me, and I'm like fuck, and I gotta learn how to stop that.
100%, man. That's huge that you just recognize it. Now you know.
Yeah.
How many people out there probably are continuing that pattern because of something that was given to them?
Yeah.
I took it on. I don't know if I think I took on that hate of myself because my dad wasn't there, and then I was like, oh, he doesn't love me. You know what I mean? So then I'm not going to love and that was forever.
It makes you not like other people too. Like that's another thing I want to try to get rid of in my life. And it's hard to do in this business because comics, we love trashing people is so fun. And it's kind of our pastime.
I know a lot of comics that are like, that'll say to me like, dude, I love hanging out with you. And I'm like, why? I'm like, because we can just rip on people. And we know we're just doing it to do it.
Right. But then there's the thing that I do in my head that I take home.
Yeah.
I don't want that. I don't want the realness because I am truly, if I don't care how, it's none of my, it's none of my business. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's none of my, they have another saying in the program, it's none of my business what you think of me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I want to let go of all that shit because I don't want to I just don't want to not like people I don't know.
Yeah, 100%.
It's exhausting. He got this, she's doing that. I'm a white, middle-aged, blah, blah. Okay, I understand. I don't need to have that in my life. I just don't have the capacity. My hard drive's full. I have to to put this other good shit in, I have to take that bad shit out.
Yeah.
Because, don't get me wrong, there's nothing, me and Voss and Keith Robinson were in Vegas at the comedy cellar in Vegas. We were just smashing each other and everybody there, and just the kid Kayvon, he's a young comic. He was there and he gave Voss a letter and we opened the letter and Keith has a stroke and he held the letter up. He goes, Bobby, can you help me? I knew what he meant. He needed me to be his left arm, his right arm. So I went over and we ripped the letter up. I love that shit. And we trash people, but the other stuff that you're home by yourself or when you go to bed and have somebody's in your head on your pillow, just let go of that shit.
Yeah.
Let it fucking go. Let people just do their thing. Who cares if they're shit? Some of these people are fucked up, but it's none of my business.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with me. Fuck it. Because I've seen people succeed. I've seen people fall. You know,
Yeah.
what I mean? This business is the fastest horse doesn't win the race.
Yeah.
You can't spend time on that. But what I'm gonna try to spend time on is the things that matter to me, and one of those is how I feel, like when I can put my shoes on, or I had this joke in my act where me and my kid like 3 weeks ago to a dinosaur park, and he ran away, and I just had to go buy, like My wife was like, well, go get him. I go, I can't. He's fucking 5. He's running like an infielder right now. He's gone.
Yeah.
We gave him enough skills. I don't know what to tell you. I can't do what he's doing right now.
Yeah.
We just have to hope he's around the corner when we get there, you know?
Yeah.
I want to be able to run and I want to be able to fight my kid when I have to.
Yeah, of course.
You know, so
yeah, that was a big motor. We went on this hike yesterday as a family, and then like we had to park way away from like where the hike is because it was packed on Memorial Day.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, I'll run and go get the car. Like I dropped them off, parked the car, ran down, and then when I had to run back, it was like all uphill. And I was like, "Holy shit! I'm just doing this.
Yeah, dude.
I'm just running by people." It was
we
unbelievable.
went on a hike on comedy camp.
Yeah,
and boy, it was killing me.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I was we had and it wasn't even that bad. I saw Big J was ahead of me. I was like, this is fucked. And he's wearing Nikes and jorts.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is fucking. He's got a chain wallet. You know what I mean?
And fingerless gloves.
Yeah,
out there.
dude. I love Big J. But yeah, I got up to the top of that hill on that hike. I was like, I'm fucking rough right now.
Yeah.
I'm a rough motherfucker. So that's my plan. And I'm goal orientated, man. If I give myself a goal, I'll achieve it. If I don't you tell me to get on a treadmill and don't give me a time, I'll fail. I'll be like, fuck, I can't do it. You say give me 45 minutes, I'll do it.
Just do 20.
Yeah, but I need that goal. I mean, of course, I can only do fucking 20, but I'm just giving you a exaggerated example. But so that I am definitely going to do that. I think it's important for my kid too to see dad,
of course,
lose the weight. I hope he doesn't. I hope. I don't think he will because my wife doesn't have it. I just hope he doesn't have that gene, that addictive gene I have. That my father had. That.
Yeah, I know. So I hope the same thing, but at the same time is like we're recognizing it, and if we can be there to support and we can be there to like say, hey, look what's going on here. This is what's happening. So that's why after dinner we go for walks around the neighborhood, even if it's just one time around the block.
We started doing that too. Yeah,
little shit like that where they start building those things in. Like, dude, you think
I got a booger coming out of my nose?
Yeah, well, it's right there.
Where? Oh, did it fall?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna put it right.
Yeah, sure. Just put it right there.
Well, look at.
I
you
know.
guys know. At least listen. Here's the thing: it's been dingling the whole time. I'm trying to get
see it.
Well, I needed help, and I was kind of doing this and doing this, and they were like, "Dude, get that booger." You know what? Is this 4K?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they saw it, and now it fell out, and now we acknowledge it so they can feel comfortable. If we never acknowledge that, they'd be like, "There's a booger."
I'm like, man, that was kind of weird. That they
and
did
now
that.
you know that it's there. Next time I come back. Whenever I come back and do this again, we'll look for
when
it.
You come back and you're going to be a slimmer, leaner you.
I plan to be. Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah.
If I come back.
By the way,
we'll
so this is what I was
shredding.
saying. When I was back in Boston in Stoneham, hiking in that park, those trails with my son, I looked at my buddy who we grew up together, who now lives in Marblehead, and I go, we never hiked these. We never went for a hike as kids.
Yeah.
Well, why were we not in these? We should have been out here all the time. This is unbelievable. He goes, I know, it's so weird. So our kids will, because they're like, we're building it in as like, hey, this is something we do.
Yeah.
We go for hikes. We camp. We go for walks. You
Yeah.
know?
No, you're right. They will do that. But yeah, I just bought a pickup truck. I'm so excited.
Oh, yeah. What year? Do you get a new one?
I got a 2019 Ford Ranger.
Damn. I saw a Ford Ranger the other day, but it was like a 74.
Yeah, they
and I'm
stopped
like with my
making them
car
in
and I go, look at that thing.
They stopped making them in 2011.
Yeah.
And they just brought them back, and I just got it. It's at the house waiting for me. I'm so excited because just to throw shit in the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a kayak on the roof of this thing. Do you think I can take it anywhere? No, because I got rid of my truck. I don't.
Yeah, dude. I just go to Home Depot and just throw wood in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it, dude. I'm excited.
Buy expensive wood to build the table. Well, I appreciate you doing this, man. This
Buddy,
has been
thank you.
fantastic.
Yeah, dude. I'm glad I got to come out here and see you. I was excited, dude.
Oh, me too.
And
man.
I love following you. I love we kind of. live this same type of parallel lives.
Dude, I tell my wife, I'm like, I feel like he's like this brother I never had because we do the same shit.
Yeah.
And I go, look at this stuff that I love what you do.
I love what you do.
Yeah,
I watch
man,
your
it's
stuff
awesome.
cooking and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I love
dude,
it.
It's the best.
Yeah, it's good, man.
Next time you're out and next time I'm out there, I don't know if I get invited to the shed.
Dude, next
but,
time,
you know,
absolutely. Next time you're in New York, come out to the shed. We'll do my shed.
it's done.
And it's so funny. We both have.
Yeah,
we both
that's
have-
what, dude. You're the first guest in here. I was like, I can't believe I'm gonna get Bobby Kelly in here for the first one. I'm like, this is unbelievable.
That's awesome, dude.
You're the best, man.
You are too.
I
Thanks,
appreciate
buddy. That was great, dude.
Hands down, one of my favorite comics as a person and as a comic. And we didn't even get into half of like the stuff that he went through because we wanted to talk about more stuff, and we didn't get into half of like where we're gonna go. And hopefully we'll get a chance to do that again. But go check out Bobby Kelly on Instagram. Follow him. Check out his podcast, YKWD. You know what, dude? And go to his Patreon page, Bobby Kelly, Robert Kelly. Really excited that we had him on, and I think it was a great way to break in this new studio. We're going to have great guests yet to come and more Facebook Lives and different things like that. So email me. Rate the podcast, subscribe, comment below, let people know about it. It's the only way we grow is with you guys, and let's be a family, you know? We talked a lot about family. This is a family. There's this comedy community, these people, you guys that are listening to the podcast. I appreciate you. I hope we continue to inspire each other, and I look forward to bringing you new podcasts next week and every week thereafter. Peace.